doing my research because, like I told you before, I'm trying to start my own 501c. Whenever you get a nonprofit, if you're the head of the nonprofit, you can make your salary whatever you want it to be.
You sure can.
So it's like these people are saying, "Oh, Black Lives Matter. Make sure you send money and do this stuff." It's like,
if you need help finding funding sources, I know some funders for 501c3.
well, you know, that's what I
see the mayor.
You know, we gonna start it the right way. You know what I mean? That's something that we're going.
No, like there's a lot of grants out there.
I know. Also, thank you for sending me that. I didn't,
I sent her a grant today.
Yeah, she's real. Listen,
I sent grants.
She is like the encyclopedia of find me some money now. She is the one, cause I'll be like, where the hell did you
like, don't get a loan. Here's a grant.
Yeah, I'll be over here like, okay, I'm taking notes. Hold on.
But people don't want to fill out the paperwork for grants.
Yeah, it's a lot of paperwork, but it's like, it's well worth it. I mean, like, I did a PSSA. Like, and I flunked 7th grade, so I did the PSSA like twice. So if I could do the PSSA twice, I could fill out a grant paperwork.
Hey,
listen. And you could do it too if I could do it.
Real talk, because people are out here getting this money. So take the time, ask some people, phone a friend, I don't know, do something. Don't not do it because you don't understand something. That's what I, like, a lot of times I feel like us as a people, we need to be more of a village.
That's like some of the people that we graduated with actually, like, approached me and was asking me, how do I buy vacant property in Braddock? And I was like, oh, I can tell you how to buy vacant property in Braddock. I give this spiel so many times to this point where I made a tip sheet. And so many people do nothing with that information.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you can buy a whole vacant building for $10,000. And if you have the wherewithal, or if you know someone who has the wherewithal to fix it up,
and
you own a property for $10,000.
You can literally partner with somebody and y'all can literally own something.
There's not many places in the country where you can own a property for $10K.
Right.
And when they gentrify the neighborhood,
let them come to you and be like, we've been looking at your lot and we want your property, and be like, oh yeah, well, I own it, and how much do you want to, and they're going to try to lowball you. Listen, Skyrocket, I want $5 billion for this. If you want to build your target cannot go up because it's going to be a little ass target unless you buy my property. So, I want $5 billion.
I'm telling them, I want 10 years worth of rent. If you want my property, I want 10 years worth of rent because this is what I wanted to do.
Some of those empty lots are as little as $1.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like, see, I'm not going to go in how I could go in on my people, but if
I say, all you need is $1 and some closing costs.
If you could get 10 people on the same page and just say, hey, we gonna make sure that everybody gets
$20. Give out put $20 and invest. That's investment.
I really want to say something that y'all ain't gonna like, but
they don't want to hear that convo.
They don't want to hear the comments.
Jordans are generational wealth.
Yeah.
Jordans are not generational wealth. You can't pass your Jordans
down. That's not an investment.
They're not equity.
Yeah, it's not.
Listen, what you think after you had them up in the case that like 10 years from now, oh, they're gonna be worth something? They're not. They're not. I tell you what, gold and gold is a commodity. They use gold.
Don't even buy J's.
Real talk. He's not out here.
Yeah,
when's the last time y'all seen Michael out here at a press conference wearing Jordans? Never.
He's like, I don't wear these shoes.
He wears the Jordans that we don't wear.
Because the ones that he don't release. Obviously, why would he wear anything that he's released that y'all could buy?
Also, I don't know who needs to hear this, but don't sell your grandparents' property.
Yeah, please don't. Stop selling. Yo, there's some nice ass property out here that they are just, grandma's dead, and I feel like we need to just split it 50-50.
People in wholesale and real estate, they
know what it is.
They target people who have their grandparents' property.
Yeah, because they know what it is.
Yeah, you live in Colorado, your grandparents died. We just gotta contact you real quick. You trying to get his property up or not?
Real talk, and they'll hit you with some random number that they know there's something more than what you've seen. Because they probably didn't research on you. It's not hard to research people nowadays. And they're like, oh, you make that, so if I offer you this, you're gonna be wow. When in reality, that $500,000 should have been like $3 million. But they gonna lowball you because they know, ooh, $500,000, that's more money I've ever had.
Yes. Also,
Just sit on it and just wait.
the reason why these abandoned properties are so cheap is because the people that own them, they stop paying taxes on them, and they may have passed away. They may not know, their family may not know the property exists. And I was like, oh, someone was like, I got this property. Like, people from out of state, we got some people from out of state come to Braddock, and they bought vacant property and fixed it up hella quickly. I was very impressed, and I was like, okay. And they paid really cheap for it, and they fixed it up, and they live in it, and they got like $3. They live in the dream. I was like, they found the American dream in Braddock.
Yeah, and like I don't get like I'm not a hater. Like I'm really not no hater of nobody, but I am a hater of people not acting whenever they should. You know what I mean? Like because like we from the area, you know what I mean? So whenever I see like how I grew up, like for as long as I was a kid, I knew like there was a Chinese market on the avenue. There was like the hospital on the avenue. There was a lot of different landmarks, and it's like once everything got tore down, like the conversation between like me and like people from the neighborhood is like, see, they trying to take over. See, they just going mess everything up, and I'm like, yo, me at the age I am now, it's like they gave us 15 years.
We have a whole predominantly black community.
If y'all saw that property was going downhill, as a community, people should have stepped up and said, hey, what can we do? Can we buy this? Can we collectively own this and keep it in the community?
Everybody's an entrepreneur all of a sudden, and they're like, oh, they're flaunting money on the Instagram, and you're like, ew. But they're like, oh, we don't have anything in our community. That frustrates me so much. And I'm like, you could be investing in your community.
Me and my friend almost had a full-blown, like, argument. Like, we did have an argument. We almost went fisticuffs because, and like, we had a little conversation afterwards because I told him, I said, look, bro, I'm passionate about this. So we could play about a lot of stuff. Just don't play about this because, like, my idea is like what we talked about. I don't want to speak about it right now because
understandable.
You know what I mean?
You don't want nobody to take your idea.
Yeah, because you know that's another thing.
Keeping your idea hush hush.
I told him, I said, look, bro, like there's a lot of stuff that we got going on, or that we could have going on, and because of the age we are, we're supposed to be doing it. And he's like, man, bro, the hood is washed up, bro. Ain't nobody taking the hood serious no more. I'm like, bro, fuck the hood. I'm talking about my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like my community where
we're too old to be calling it the hood.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, like I've seen kids that are going through things that I went through as a kid, and it's like unless you are in that situation and you are with that kid and those families, you'll never understand. It's like,
I had a kid in AmeriCorps. Like I used to get teenagers in the community ready for a job readiness program. Like, and the kid, he wasn't even in my group, but we were always paired with teachers, and the teacher I was paired with, she didn't like me for the fact that I treated them like young adults. I was like, I'm going to show you a way to create this menu, and as long as I give you the parameters and you're within that parameter, I don't care how you get there, as long as you do what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to babysit you because I have a job, and no one babysits me. She's like, no, you gotta hover over them. They're children.
That's not how life works.
You don't gotta.
They will figure it out. And if you hover, they're never gonna be able to stand on their own 2 feet. You need to let them do shit, make mistakes. And when they're ready, let them come to you and ask for help.
Expect you to fix it.
Yeah, no, let them. So, let me see how you do it.
I had a kid.
They might got it, but they might be doing it in a different way than I would do it.
I had a kid come to my group,
cool.
and
new. Cool.
I noticed he was always tired. He wasn't even in my group. I had him come over to my group, and I was like, hey, what's going on? And he was like, yeah, I've been at the hospital taking care of my grandma for like meanwhile, this is summer. And he's like, I've been taking care of my grandma for X amount of weeks, so I'm always sleeping at the hospital with her. Then I had a kid that was like, I'm the only person in my family that speaks English, and she lives in the community, and she's like, So I'm pretty much taking care of my family to make sure that we're getting the resources that we're supposed to be getting.
That's another topic we're gonna have to discuss, because I work in a lot of customer service positions where people who have a language barrier get treated terrible.
Oh yeah.
I mean, terrible. I can't imagine, because I already get treated terrible, being a minority. But it's bad enough trying to speak English to somebody who speaks English. Now I got a language barrier where I gotta figure out, I can't communicate.
I didn't only live in New York, I lived in Corona.
Yeah, right. So I'm trying to tell you I need my medication.
Corona, what's the?
Corona, Queens is
Corona, Queens.
as predominantly Hispanic.
Yep.
Apartment 19. Corona, apartment 19.
I lived at 1159 Corona Avenue in Corona, Queens.
Wow. And now we're here in the midst of the pandemic.
In the pandemonium.
Yes.
And
Like,
around
I would go into the grocery store, everything would be in Spanish. I was like, oh.
And people, it cracks me up. People used to come visit us in New York, and I take them to like Key Foods or whatever, and they're like, "How do you grocery shop here?" I'm like, "What do you mean? How do you know what you're getting?" You learn a little Spanish and figure it out. It's like, I've been here for years. You figure it out.
But people they appreciated, even though it was hella broken Spanish, that I was attempting some Spanish, because I'm like, I'm really intelligent in another language, but I'm trying my best to communicate with you.
Because it's just like I don't know how to explain it. It's just common courtesy, because whenever they come to our country, they try their best to speak their language.
To speak our language.
And it's just like, oh, no, I think that I put fried chicken. Okay, you trying to get fried chicken. The least I could do is say, ¿cómo estás? I know that.
Least.
You know what I mean? Like, the least I can do is say, I know how to say how you doing.
I got lost from Buenos Aires.
Or say something, what I learned
Buenos
is to
Aires,
tell
that's a
someone,
good.
I speak very little Spanish. Un poquito español. Very little Spanish. So they know, like, don't speak fast, don't say some long, almost whatever it is.
And I was paired with a flight attendant who didn't know any Spanish.
Oh, Lord.
What's Buenos Aires?
Buenos Aires is in...
I know something's good.
In Argentina.
So, what's the Aires? What the Aires mean? Because, like, Buenos is good.
I don't know what Aires means, but it's a country in Argentina.
ARIAS?
Mm-hmm.
The wildest stuff is, I was in the service, and in my boot camp, there was a guy, he was from Puerto Rico, his name was Aries. Well, his last name was Aries. But, like, he was the funniest dude. He didn't know a lick of English. So,
Hey,
I was very
that goes
bold.
back to what I was saying.
I was very bold back then, because reflecting. Like, as a flight attendant, you're hella lonely. You spend a lot of time in random ass places by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have the same coworkers every time, so you don't get to make connections with people. You don't have the same customers all the time, so you don't get to make connections with them either. So
that sounds like me at the bar.
I'm here to drink.
I'm meeting different people every time.
I might be your friend by the end of the night.
So
Next time we may not talk.
The first mistake was we landed. I went to the ATM straight away, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to convert some American dollars into pesos." No, I wasn't, because they wasn't going to give me what I was supposed to get, because I Googled it. So I was like, fuck. But also, shout out to Buenos Aires, because right by the bank, there was all these people who, they were lingering, like, you want pesos?
Yeah, they know what it is. I would have been right there with them, like,
because one peso.
Hey, you look real wet behind the ears. You want some pesos?
$1 was supposed to be 27 pesos.
Yep.
So
they trying to give you 10.
So I took me and my flight attendant friend. We went to this side street and we exchanged our money. I was like, okay, that's kind of suspect looking back at it. Probably shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm glad you're with us.
And then we got lost. Girlie don't know any Spanish, and I'm like, ¿Dónde estás? Intercontinental. I know enough Spanish to be like,
¿Dónde estás?
Intercontinental.
That was the name of the hotel.
So,
which also could have been that
No,
you are
where is
intercontinental.
Donde is where.
Yeah.
Donde means where.
¿Dónde estás?
Told you, New Homewood. Y'all heard that? New Homewood. Hey, if y'all want to leave me a Cash App, we trying to move. Get us out of here. We want to keep bringing y'all content, but we might get shot in the process. I'm just saying. But intercontinental, back to intercontinental.
Yeah.
I digress.
So I asked like 3 different people, and I knew just enough Spanish to piece together, like, okay, this is where I need to go. Thankfully, we made it back to the hotel, obviously.
Thankfully.
Obviously.
Hey, yo, when we went to, what was it, the Bahamas?
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the beach, and they only took cash.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy, he had his little shop, and he's like, oh, I will send my son with her. So I was like, no, the fuck you won't. I was like, no, the fuck you won't.
American anytime I leave the country.
He was like, no, I'm going to send my son.
Like princess.
They don't believe I'm American every time I leave.
You would have picked to be someone's princess, then you decline?
Listen, they thought she was American enough to be like, yeah, we taking her to the A-team. I was like, no, the fuck you're not. We're not going with little Louie over here. I don't know him. Oh shit, he'll walk with her. I was like, Pat, go get your, go with her.
Pat let me walk to the ATM with the stranger.
No.
No, he didn't even with you.
No, he did, but he was going to.
Yeah, he was.
Until you.
And I kicked him.
You intervened.
That was the first time I've ever actually laid hands. I don't know if I'm violent, y'all. I promise y'all I don't. But in this particular
instance, he was gonna let me go.
He was all gung-ho like,
yeah, all right. Stranger.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, I can't afford it. I can't afford to come find her. If she's taken, I'm not Liam Neeson. I can't find her. I can't help her. What I look like?
I watched Taken.
I got a particular set of skills. No, I don't. No, I don't. That's a lie. Don't watch that. Don't watch that. She gonna be boss for real.
If anybody in my circle gets kidnapped,
It's a lie.
I don't got a set of skills.
I don't even know what to do. I'm like, call 911.
Yeah, I don't got a set of skills.
Call her mother. I'm like, call somebody. I don't know what to do. She was supposed to be here 5 hours ago. What the hell?
In my head, I'm gonna be thinking like, bro's going.
I
He
gotta
must be doing the Squid Game. He
My
must be Squid
But we
Game.
gotta get back on this.
That's a good
title. I'm like, we gotta get back on this boat. They about to honk the horn.
And I do appreciate the Bahamas though, because a random lady stopped me and she saw me with these 2 guys and she said, "Honey, are you okay?"
I mean, I'm glad that she like reached out and asked, because like me and my friend was just not talking about this, because like I'm not gonna say it's not near and dear to my heart, because it is, but I'm not gonna say that it is near and dear to my heart, because it's not nothing that I think about on a day-to-day basis.
You could be walking past someone that's been kidnapped the night.
Yeah. But if I found out that they were kidnapped, I'm like, oh yeah,
I would feel some kind of like, I should have said
I know where
something.
you go with that.
My bad, bro. Like, oops.
Alright, so we've been having a good time. We didn't talk about like. Tell us about your podcast.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Like you said.
Don't do that. Don't do all that.
This is pretty late to be talking about me,
Okay.
but my podcast is basically just a podcast on the culture. You know what I mean? Like, if anything new comes up, like the crate challenge that came up, I spoke on that.
Did you do it?
I would not do the crate challenge.
I got weak ankles and no coordination.
No, definitely not. And, I know
We've
me.
seen enough people get fucked up that we're like, no, you know what, I can skip that.
Yeah,
They did it in stiletto skinny as
Yeah,
heels.
no,
I'm
she
like,
was the boss.
She was the boss. Real talk. I was like,
she did it. She did
It's
it.
like, you gotta stop people from leaving crates outside of their business.
Hold on, because I never knew, and I never even asked what type of conversations you get, like what type of phone calls you get. But people are asking you to pick up the crates.
Yep.
How about pick up the trash outside? Don't hit me about no. See, I couldn't be the man.
Cannot be embarrassed.
I said, you're calling me to pick up people's crates outside of their business?
Nah,
Because people are gonna get hurt if you don't pick up those crates.
no, people are gonna make money. Like they were offering a lot of money for people who could finish the crate challenge.
Which is stupid because you get to like.
I make $100 a month.
The problem is, you get to the top of that crate challenge and you get fucked up. Who's taking you to the hospital and who's paying the bill?
I'm actually,
Like,
I watched a video of this old guy that fell off the crates and he broke his ankle.
oh.
And look, this was like the most awkward, like,
It's like how?
like my emotions went everywhere all at once. It's
Because
like,
it looks terrible. It's like, oh my, you're invested. You're like, oh my god, oh my god. Like
he
you
broke
want to
his-
catch him, but you can't. Like,
he broke his ankle, and I
Oh.
laughed because like whenever he fell, anytime somebody falls, like it's funny, but
But then a couple like.
then it's fucked up.
I
Then
seen
it's
the
like,
video from a different angle, and the second angle, he was laying down like, I fell.
I forget.
Oh!
I forget what it was.
I'm
Though,
like, that's
Oh.
fucked up.
but it is the
That's
same
fucked
time you be feeling like,
I
the
would
fuck
have
was you
Right
here
cracked
for?
up.
Like,
I would
mean,
have cracked up even more. Because why the
Dummy.
hell would you do it?
big dummy.
I saw a video on TikTok from down south where someone did the crate challenge, and then someone also did a drive-by shooting, and
The irony in
We
that.
gotta do
The
better.
irony in that shit. We can't even do a crate challenge without y'all shooting. That's some fucked up shit. You know what? I just.
We gotta do. Look,
We definitely gotta
His
do.
face whenever she said it was priceless.
Oh, they're doing
They
this.
was
That's
like
Pookie
this.
and them.
Hold on, wait, babe. She said there was like, hold on, wait, babe.
Y'all doing drive-bys
Hold on,
on the
wait.
crate?
He was, hold on, wait. She was like this. Yeah, I seen this video where this one person was doing a crate challenge and someone was driving by in the shooting, and his face is like,
What?
I definitely wasn't expecting like the drive-by shooting.
I
But it's
thought
like,
like you was talking about the one where they was up there and then the dude got mad and kicked the crates and the girl
oh yeah,
fell.
because he was like, don't you ever say
Don't you
that
ever
about my daughter?
say that shit to me. Although
Don't you
I
talk
do
about my
have
daughter.
to be like,
It was
I
a
mean,
whole
you did put
drive-by
yourself in a
shooting.
very vulnerable.
Yeah. See, with me, the moment I get to the top crate, I know that there's so many
Mhm.
Negroes in this world that don't want to see me at the
Yeah.
top.
So you gotta stay down, get down quick.
Like,
see,
I might walk up,
oh,
but I'm running down.
Right,
I'm
I'm
running
there
down.
like this, like touch. Like,
Because I know that there's so
they're gonna
many.
be like, did she even touch the top crate? I don't know. Let's run it back. Oh, she did, real quick. Like,
There's a bunch of ignorant colored folk that don't want to see me at the top of no pyramid. They don't want to see me at the top of no pyramid. They don't want to see me at the top of the steps.
they're gonna be
Don't wanna
like,
see
we're
me at
gonna
the
play
top of
Jenga right
nothing.
quick. Let me take this one crate
So
away.
we-
Yeah, and they're like, oh, why you gotta take my crate? Take your mama crate. Take my
So
crate.
what we need to do is stop collecting crates and start collecting $20 bills to invest in ourselves. We're waiting for someone else to save us because we can save ourselves if we put our Jordans to stop
I
buying Jordans.
hated that thing.
Y'all
Y'all
If you
pay
step
like
on
$2,
a crack,
$3.
you'll break your
I don't even know how much
back.
a pair of
I
Jordans
literally
costs
would
right now.
Not step on a crack.
If you,
started
break,
a new
you step on the crack, you
conversation.
break your mama's back.
That's true.
Hey, but no, I feel it though because like as a dude, like as females, y'all didn't grow up like us. Like we used to like we might shoot a 3 and we be like, if I make this, your mom's my girlfriend. And it's like we used to live and die by like, oh, I made it, your mom's my girlfriend. Oh, you stepped in the crack, your mom broke her back.
Right. I feel it.
I mean, it gets even more X-rated as a
Of
child.
course.
I'm an
Like,
adult now,
the only
somebody
I
reason
know we
knows.
all got it. We play basketball, so
Okay.
I'm pretty familiar with. You know.
Only reason why I took it so hard is because my mom was like really ill. So I'm like, I am not stepping on the dang crack. She's already dealing with enough with her health. So if I
All right.
step on a crack, it's just all
So
over.
that's a good place to end for your editing purposes.
Yes, thank
Tell people where they can find
Oh,
you.
sorry again.
Oh.
Sorry, we got off again.
You can find me like Instagram, Facebook is Streets Harden, but I also got like on Instagram and Facebook it's Harden's Podcast. That's where I got like
It's
on
a
my
deep, it's a
podcast.
really nice podcast setup you got there.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, watched it. It's like really good.
I try to keep like a real, like a nice podcast. You know, people always, I mean, since I'm into like the hip hop and stuff, like people ask me like, yo, like I rap, I want to get an interview, but I'm like, nah, because it's not just a rap podcast. It's like I had a therapist on my podcast, I had someone that cooks food, I did have a rapper, but you know what I mean? It's just like, I want to get the culture.
The diversity.
Yeah.
We started out doing campfire talks, and then we're like, we should turn this into a podcast.
Yeah,
literally, our first episode was I wish we had gotten what we talked about before we did our first episode, but we didn't. But that's what stemmed all this. Like, the pandemic hit, and everything just went to shit. So we were sitting there,
so now
and I said, we would sit here and drink our wine and talk shit, and I was like, we should record this and see if people love it. And we turned on that little GoPro, and that was the end of that. I was like, okay.
Absolutely.
There's like a stat out there right now. Podcasters, like, it's like the number one, like not industry, but it's like the number one thing that people are doing right now. And like in the next few years, a lot of podcasters are going to be millionaires. So it might not be looking, like it might not look like as much now.
But stick with it.
You stick with it and you get that consistency, and people see like, oh yeah, they're always going to bring like that good quality. They're always going to bring like a nice topic and a nice just setup.
Yes.
You could be a millionaire. I'm manifesting my millionaire.
I know that.
Manifest that shit.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel like I'm left out.
Alright. Thanks for tuning in. You know where to find us.
Hey, like I said, subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you guys are following us and leaving comments and all that good stuff. Apple Podcasts, Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah.
And follow our guest
And as always, I always say this, please keep sipping. Keep sipping. Don't let them tell you you can't, because you can.
Pinky's out.
Bye.
It's hot in here.
It is hot.
It's hotter than usual. I'm
It's-
waiting on
I
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.